Hello, Clarissa. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, and oracle card advisor. How are you today? Thank you for being patient. I know life got in the way a little bit, and then I'm always booked up a little bit. So anyway, I like to explain for my first timers. I do so many readings, so I don't think I've read for you before. I hear, see, feel, sense, know, and they talk, but sometimes they show pictures too. And I call it spiritual charades, and I have to describe the picture, the image that they're showing me, and hopefully describe it well enough that you understand the message they're trying to get across. They'll give me memories. They'll give me a little bit of validation, hopefully at least 2 or 3 things, because I don't like to spend my whole reading on validations. To me, that's a medium patting themselves on the back going, look what I can do, look what I can get. Now this is about them getting messages to you, getting your hug from heaven. So it's not an exact science, and the names, and I probably need to quit saying this because I'm probably making myself worse. Names I don't get exact usually. Usually I don't, but let's say I say John, so it'll be a male with a J name. So sometimes you got to think outside the box. It'll be close. It should be close. So let's see which one wants to start off, because I'm going to do the 2 of them for you. Mainly because the little ones they don't have much more to say except for they're okay. So yeah, I can't really fill up a whole half an hour, and I don't usually do infants. It's just kind of too hard to do more than a couple of minutes. So we're gonna do that one and your grandpa. So let's see which one wants to talk first. Okay. Okay. Not quite hearing you. She's showing. Okay. You have a grandmother that's passed, and even if it's not a blood grandmother, but a grandmother, somebody felt like a grandmother. It could be a grandmother type figure. Your neighbor can feel like your grandmother. It's a grandmother that's not a large woman, but not a skinny woman. Kind of a round face. They all have glasses and white hair. Seems like. So she was older when she passed. She held your baby before your baby got here, and she has your baby now. She's safe. She's being cuddled. Her soul, her spirit is safe and warm and happy and healthy. And I don't know if you've ever considered that we live more than one life, and it's hard for me to wrap my head around it too, because of all the upbringing, all the things that have been instilled in our heads as we were growing up, that this is it. I don't believe this is it. I've had too many things that have brought me back to other lives with somebody that I cared about, that we'd been in other lives before, and we will again. There's more to our world than just what's up there as far as a rocket ship can get to the moon. There's so much more way out there. There's so much more that we haven't even got our little minds. We can't even perceive what is really in the universe. And I don't even know if I want to call it universe, because it's bigger than the universe. It's not our universe. It's out. It's way. It's, I don't know what word to use for it, but anyway, that this soul is going to come back, and it's not going to be very long. But I don't know what they mean by very long. I'm hearing 1 year. Don't hold me to that, because they're not very long. They don't have a clock. They don't have minutes and hours and days. So they're not very long. Could be a long time. Where our not very long would be 5 minutes. So this soul will come back in the near future. Maybe I better say it that way. And that time, the next time will be good. I'm not saying this one's going to come back to you, because I don't know that for a fact. I don't want to pinpoint what I say to the, I don't know how to say this. I'm sorry. That's why I don't like doing infants. It's harder. If this soul doesn't come back to you, it's going to come back to somebody very, very close to you. I'm trying to see if it's going to come back as a boy or girl. I'm not sure. I can't pinpoint that, because I was leaning towards a male child. I'm not going to pinpoint that. You will know. You will know when you get close to this infant when it comes back. You'll. Have you ever looked at somebody across the room and you go, man, I know you. I feel like I know you. I had that one time. Never seen the man before in my life. Saw him across the room at a restaurant, and it was like, and he kept turning around looking at me too. And it wasn't because he was cute or anything. He was a nice looking man, but I probably creeped him out because I couldn't keep looking at him, because I felt, you don't feel that very many times in your life, where you totally feel that total connection. And it's not like a soulmate. It's something you feel, not just in your gut either, but you'll know when she comes back. So she knew how much she was loved and wanted, and she knows how much she's missed. Sometimes I don't know if it's in a dream or like when you're almost asleep, you think you hear a baby cry, but it's not. You're not really hearing it in your ears, you're hearing it here. And because that's the only sound that you would know from her, that's the sound she's giving you. That's a sign that she's there, that she's still with you, she's still watching out for you. Is she named after somebody? She loved her name. Okay. Okay, you're going to be healed from this, she says. It's something It's something that you needed to experience, and it's something that she needed to experience. And this goes back to having more than one life. And I know that's still hard for me to grasp. So I know it's hard for somebody that maybe you've never even heard of it before or looked at it. So it's hard to grasp. I think it's easier for younger people to grasp because they haven't had as many years of the old beliefs drilled into their head. So we come here to learn a lesson. She needed to come here and learn things about what happened for her own soul growth. Forgot where I was going. And when we come into this life, we actually come in and we have an exit point already planned. Maybe not exactly the day, maybe not exactly the way. I'm not sure about all that from my personal experience, but we come in having an exit point. She already knew that that is where she was going to exit, and that's okay because she'll come back. So I hope that makes some kind of sense and it doesn't sound like real wacko stuff, because I've been doing this for a while and I've just heard it from too many people and been through past life regression myself. Okay, she just wants you to know that she's safe and she is warm and being cuddled, and she knew how much she was wanted and loved, and she knows when she comes back that she will be wanted and loved just as much. She says, I love you, and then I love everybody there. She's pure love energy because she was not tainted yet by the things in this world, by the hate and the anger in this world. She never met that. So she is nothing but vibrating pure love. That's all she knows. So I'm seeing a big A over the top of this grandma's head, so I'm assuming that means that her name started with an A. So anyway, I hope that made a little bit of sense, and you'll know. You'll just know. So we're gonna go to. She says again, I love you, and I love everything and everybody. It's very pure love. So we're gonna see Grandpa Dale. Oh, Grandpa Dale. He says, I have my own teeth now. I have my own teeth. I don't have a stinking oxygen hose stuck up my nose like in the picture that you sent. I don't have that anymore, don't need it. And it's almost like he rips it off and he throws it on the ground and stomps on it like, I don't need that shit anymore. And he's dancing around. He's flapping his arms and his legs because he wants you to know that every part of his body is working. Everything is working. No oxygen. He can move. He can jump. He can wiggle. He points at his mouth again. He goes, I got my own teeth. He mentions a horse. And then I hear the song, a horse is a horse, of course, of course. The Mr. Ed song. I don't know how old you are because I don't like to look at people's Facebook pages, but Google Mr. Ed. There was a theme song, and I'm pretty sure that's where the song's coming from. A horse is a horse, of course, of course. I think it's Mr. Ed. He was a talking horse when I was young. He may not be that old to know. He's got a big shovel. He's got a big, it looks more like a snow shovel. It's not a little spade, it's a big wide shovel. And he's shoveling up shit, he says. He's cleaning up shit around you. He's not talking about physical shit. He says he's cleaning up shit people deposit around you. This isn't physical. So he's very busy taking care of things around your energy. Hopefully this is going to make sense and not sound too woo-woo. Because he says he doesn't want any of that shit to get to you or attached to you. Because you don't deserve it. Yep, he's not switching from this shovel. Hang on, we got to get him to move. He says Jackie can take him to visit his parents, but he's already with them. He's showing that he's already hanging out with his parents. He says, I've already got them. And did he have a brother or somebody that felt close like a brother to him? He's got that person with him. And he's showing that person, hang on, let me see what he's wearing for something. He's making a point. He's showing that person in a plaid shirt. Don't know why. Don't know if that's a shirt that maybe they were buried in or they wore one all the time. But there's something about a plaid shirt with this brotherly feeling person that he's with. There's also a small child with him. All I know that it's a small child. You know, it's up to them if they feel like it's important enough. It's their show. They tell us what we need to hear, not what we always want to hear. It's a young girl, but it's not an infant. This young child is just watching him like with great love and admiration. I can't pinpoint her any more than that. They're not giving me any more information. He says, right before he passed, I'm not even sure you were in the room with him, with what he's talking about now. But he heard you talking to him. He's not showing you in the room. You could have been in your own home and he could still hear you talk to him. It's a telepathic thing and it is real. And he heard you talking to him and saying that you loved him. Especially when you get right towards the end, you're already kind of part way on the other side when you're that close, and he could hear you say that you loved him, that you hope that he would have a good trip, and find I'm trying to hear him. You hoped that he would find who he needed to find and find his way where he needed to go. And he says he did. He said he's he said he's there with his homies. He says, you never thought I'd say that word, did you? he mentioned, I don't see it, but he mentioned the smell of smoke, and it'd be more like not cigarette smoke, pipe smoke, cigar smoke. I'm leaning more towards the pipe. He's not showing me. Need to show me more pictures. He likes your house. He likes the energy in your house. He says the energy in your house is crisp and clear. He says, oh, he says when the sun is shining in your windows, he wants you, and nobody else is home, he wants you to crank up some music and dance. Crank it up. Sing to the, he's showing a, not a sponge and not a dish rag. It's like a, it's like one of my sponge things. It has a handle, then it has a round sponge head on it, you know, with all these little sponge. He's showing one of those and you're using it as a microphone. So go ahead and dance like nobody's watching. Who gives a shit? Enjoy the dance while you're there. Life is truly a party. If you make it that way. Oh, he says, no, not make it. If you allow it to be that way. It's your choice. Nobody else's, your choice. Whoops. We did have a tornado here a couple of days ago, but this is the, oh, come to think of it, that should be the first Wednesday of the month. Yikes. I don't see anything. Yikes, the tornado sirens are going off. Maybe they're just testing them because they didn't go off during the tornado the other day. Nobody set them off. Okay, let me pause this. So, that's no coincidence. And I always ask, everybody knows about coins and feathers and cardinals and butterflies and all the common signs. So I ask my friends to come up with different signs. So your grandpa is going to leave you signs associated with a tornado. So you will see. I don't know where you live. I hope you don't have tornadoes in your area. But it'll be, I don't know if it's going to be the siren or the, okay, I see signs. So whenever you see something on the internet, on TV, on a bumper sticker, whatever, that has to do with the tornado, twister, or the siren, and that's covering a lot of territory there, that's going to be a sign from him. And when you get those, say, Grandpa, I know you're here. I love you. Bring me more. They're getting very inventive with their signs. Yeah. he's okay. He says that you were a very bright spark in his life, that he loved watching you run around, that he says you were full of mischief when you were little, and he's showing like real little. He says you were into everything. Well, aren't all little kids? But he never had to worry about you. You were your own free spirit. Then what? But he always felt like kind of relaxed about you. Like he knew that you were going to grow up to be an awesome person, and he wasn't going to have to worry about you. That you weren't going to be a troublemaker. That he enjoyed your soul type connection, the energy. He totally enjoyed it with you. He says you're a busy girl. Now he shows that he goes over and he takes your daughter and he's holding her. He picked her up from the grandma figure and he's holding her. So he wants you to know that he's with her too, that she's safe, he's safe. You're not getting a lot of validations here. He's indicating that you were named after somebody too. Somebody that has a similar name to yours. So I told him we need some validations here. And he doesn't seem to think you need validations. He seems to think that you're going to trust that this is him. Which, I don't know you, so I don't know if you will or not, but he knows best. They know better. But when I asked him for validations, he showed me clouds in the sky, and I thought, well, that's not a validation. He says that you look up at the clouds in the sky and you talk to him, and you ask him to take care of your baby. That he can hear you talk to him. They can all hear you talk to them. Say their name and talk to them. You won't hear them back, but sometimes when you talk to them, they will send you something. Okay, so like sometimes when I talk to my Bob, I get a song on the radio and I go, oh, is this from you, Bob? And a truck, just like the one he used to drive, will drive by. So when you talk to them, something, not every single time, but majority of the time, something will appear. Their name might appear on a billboard, or like I said, a vehicle like he used to drive might go by, or you might see a picture of a baby on a bumper sticker or Facebook or whatever. Those are not coincidences. Those are actually them giving you a, hey, I heard you. Hey, I'm with you. He wants to call you, he's trying to call you a nickname, and I can't quite hear it. Here we go with names. He's trying to call you a nickname. I can't quite hear it. He says he used to tell you to stop being grumpy. Let it go. He loves you. He loves you, and he knows how much you loved him. And you still do. So ask him to show you signs. He will. And he'll show you something different because, you know, coming up with tornado stuff, I'm going to have to go. I don't like to look at anybody's Facebook page before I do a reading because I don't like any information ahead of time because it kind of messes with what little logical mind that I have. But I'm going to have to go look and see what part of the country you live in, see if you're going to have tornadoes too. Ours is just a practice. He's a very mellow, quiet, maybe he wasn't in real life, but he is now. Mellow, quiet energy. Something about crossing a river. Going across a river. And then I hear the song, "Over the river and through the woods, to grandmother's house we go." I'm not sure. I can only give you what they give me. Hounds. He's talking about a hound dog. Hound dog, and then I see what looks like some kind of a coon dog. Slick-haired, white with spots, coon dog looking dog, hound dog. Don't think it's a bloodhound because it looks more like a pointer or some kind of a big hound dog that he's mentioning. He says you're going to be just fine. He said it's all going to work out perfect. He's watching over you. He's making me rock. He's making me want to rock. Sitting back in a chair and rocking. And sipping on what looks like tea. He says, "Go ahead and take me on a trip. I'll enjoy the ride." But I'm not there. I'm here. I'm over the river and through the woods. Maybe that's where Jackie's taking him to the cemetery. Maybe that's what he's talking about. Excuse me. He loves you. Each and every one of you, he says. My little tribe. And with that, he's going to take off. Yeah. I keep asking him questions, and he's not answering. I guess he doesn't feel. They'll answer what they want to answer. I can't twist their arm. So, I hope this brought you some peace. I hope it brought you some love. I hope you understand that they're with you. So watch for those signs and sounds. And they are still with you, and they're safe and healthy. So much love to you. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, and oracle card advisor. See you later.